Hey, good evening, everybody. Let's see if we can get our crew in here that wants to do this crochet along tonight. See how many people we can get to come in here. I know that at one point, we had 5 people that wanted to participate. I know one of them proceeded and went on ahead and made her vest or was at least working on it. I don't know if she finished it or not. I hope she did. I'd love to see a picture of it, but we will see as things go how everything comes along. We will hopefully get some more people in. So, and I had meant to start this crochet along, gosh, the first week in August. And as you know, many of you know, my husband had a stroke July 26th, and I was unable to start it. So, hello, everybody. Welcome in. So, we're going to start it a little bit late, like 3 weeks late, but we're going to do it. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Hello, Gary. How are you? We are doing a crochet along tonight. I have promised several people that I would have this done by the 1st of August, that we would get it started. And as you know, I've been too busy to do it. So we are finally going to get it started. So we have a couple of people in here. I'm looking for one lady that just texted me. So we'll give it a couple more minutes and I will get started. While we're waiting, I'll show you what we're working on. Hold on just a second. Let me figure out how to turn my camera around. I know there's a way. There it is. With camera. Okay. This is the vest that we're working on. We're going to probably take 3, maybe 4 weeks to finish it, just simply because I don't want to push our new people. I'm going to let you guys just work as you're comfortable. I'll explain how to do the stitches. And this is the chart. I'll probably refer to it and show you how that's done. This is the first part. This is the center of our vest. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. We'll work for about 30 minutes and get the flow going, because once I show you these repeating rounds right here, you won't really need a whole lot of direction past that. So I'm going to grab my yarn. Now remember, it's a number 3 light yarn, and I'm using, as the pattern calls for, a 3.75 hook. Hi, Audrey. Welcome in, sweetie. I haven't seen you in ages. How are you doing? It's good to have you here. I'm trying something new tonight. So, okay, so for your centerpiece, we're going to latch on, and I like to leave a long piece on the end, and we're going to stitch 6 according to the pattern. We're going to make a chain of 6. So 1, I have to relax or my chains will be too tight. 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm doing pretty good, Audrey. My husband is finally here locally in town. He's at a nursing home doing rehabilitation from his stroke, but he's fantastic. I really can't complain. Nothing stuck. In other words, he was paralyzed from the cheek on his face down, like right below his eye, and he couldn't feel a thing from his cheek down. And when they woke him up after the procedure to remove the clots, everything came back. So I was so, so grateful. Hey, Kohler, how are you, bud? So we're going to do a slip stitch now, and we're going to make our circle. Okay. Yes, it was a miracle, you guys. I don't know how else to describe it. It was just God worked an absolute miracle, because they thought, with his health and everything, that he would not make it. And they pulled not 1 clot, but 2 clots out of the same blood vessel in his brain. And when they pulled that second one out, all of the blood vessels in his brain just lit up because the flow came back. They had put him in a medically induced coma, and they woke him up, took out his vent, and told him to raise his arm, and he just went right up, no problem whatsoever. So they did neurological checks all night, and everything was perfectly normal. So what he's dealing with now isn't really even related to the stroke. He's got a really bad hematoma, and it has to heal, and he's on a wound vac, and he's on antibiotics that are IV and stuff. So he had to be taken care of there. Okay, now we're going to do some stitches into the center of this little circle we made. It's right there, if you can see my finger. Our first stitch is going to be set up as a chain. It's going to count for a double crochet and 2 chain stitches. So we go 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come on, there we go. Then we're going to double crochet. So over the loop, or yarn over, go into the center, yarn over again and pull up a loop. And I'm going to push this to the back. Usually I move it down, but you can do pretty much whatever you want to with that extra string because we're going to weave it in later. All right. Now you've got 3 on your loop or on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Then crochet 2 more, yarn over, do another double crochet right here, pull through 2, and you don't want your stitches too tight. Remember to keep your stitches consistent and your tension even. And then you're going to do 6 more of those chain 2s and a double crochet. So 1, 2, double crochet again, and this is going to make that little kind of looks like a wagon wheel in the center of the vest. And it's really pretty. I just absolutely fell in love with this vest when I made it. And so I found this new yarn and I absolutely love all of the colors. Whoops. Yarn over once. Leave it to me. I can't talk and crochet at the same time. It's kind of like chewing gum and walking at the same time. Chain 2. And I think this is our 4th set. Double crochet. Chain 2, and I'm going to count and see where we are. You should have at the end, counting your chain stitch at the beginning, you should have 8 double crochets. 1, 2, it's right there, believe it or not, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 2 more to go. It's really not, I promise you, if you know how to double crochet and you know how to chain stitch, I promise it's so easy. You'll get the hang of it. When I first started, it was tough. All I could do was make a washcloth. It was just, back and forth and back and forth. But I've gotten better and I absolutely love it. I'm making baby dresses and baby blankets and all kinds of things. Okay, so we're going to try it one more time. We're going to count again just to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, you have to have 8 of your chain 2 spaces as well. So we're going to go 1, 2, and then in your beginning chain, you're going to do your slip stitch in the 3rd stitch. 1, 2, 3. Right there. So pull it through your 2nd loop like that. And here's what we have. Just going to stretch it out a little bit. And this is a smaller hook than what I've been using lately, so it looks a little bit different, but it will stretch out. Move that over a little bit. And we're going to build from there. Why does that look funny? Oh, that's why. There we go. And also we can do a thing called blocking, which will make it even more even. So I did a sample to kind of give you an idea of what we're working on tonight. I don't know if we'll work much further, but you see this is a little bit bigger stitch because I'm using, this yarn is a little heavier, but there's that center piece that we just made. It's tiny here because I used a smaller hook and the yarn is a smaller gauge. All right, so on our pattern, it says to slip stitch into the next chain 2 space, which is right there. So you're going to yarn over, go under, yarn over and through the loop. Then you're going to make a cluster of 3. The first cluster has to be your chain. So chain 3 to make your double crochet. This counts as a double crochet. Then a double crochet, 1, double crochet again in that same loop. And that is your first cluster, 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to do a chain 2, 1, 2, and you're going to put 3 double crochets in this next chain 2 space. You see there? Right there. There's 1, 2. Sure I get it in there without grabbing something I'm not supposed to, because it'll make it look weird. And 3. There you go. And chain 2. Come on. This is an itty bitty hook. I almost made this with a bigger hook to see if I could make a bigger size, and then I changed my mind. There's 2 and 3. Okay. Now we have 3 of those groups. Chain 2 again. Go. And we're going to go 1. And this is how you're pretty much the pattern is going to go. You're going to be working and expanding these groups until about row 18. So there's a lot of repetitiveness. That's why this is such a good pattern to start with if you've never made a garment, because you're really going to get your skill down on that. And it's once you have it, you'll have it. You'll remember it. Once we get to the sleeves, we'll go a little slower because we're going to have to really be careful and count our stitches on that real carefully. We were always counting stitches, but when you get to that sleeve, you got to be really careful. And I promise this yarn has more color in it than than that. Okay, and 1, another group, 2, 3, just like that. And chain 2. We're almost all the way around. 1. It's just a simple double crochet. Yarn over, go under, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, go through, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, and then we go 1, 2. Okay, and this is our last grouping right here. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and to finish this row off, or this round, because we're working in a circle, it's called a round, you're going to chain 2, and you're going to go to your beginning stitch, and you're going to slip stitch in this number 3 chain. Go 1, 2, 3, goes right there. Sometimes it's hard to get through in those chains. I tend to pull my chains tight when I'm nervous, and since I've never done this before, I'm a little nervous. All right, and you're already done with row 2. There it is. Now this is where it may be a little confusing, so I'm going to go really slow. From here on out, for the rest of these chains, and you're going to go all the way up to 18, you're going to do an increase in this stitch, which means 2 double crochets, a single crochet in all the middle stitches, and then an increase in the last stitch, which is 2. So in this one, we're going to go from 3 stitches on this to 5. Let me show you. You're going to chain 3. The chain 3 counts as your first double crochet in this group. You're going to go into the same space as the join. It's a little hard to see. In fact, I'm going to look out. There we go. There it is. It's hard to see because I've been looking through the camera, and it makes it tough. So this is what you call an increase. So you've got 2 in that first stitch. Then this is your second stitch that you go through. So there's 3 stitches. And on the last stitch of every one of these little pinwheels, you are going to do 2 double crochets. So another increase. This is stitch number 4. And stitch number 5 goes right in that same one, right there. Need to get some more slack. Here we go. And you're going to do that all the way around. So you've got 5 stitches here, and now you're going to chain 2 again. And these chain 2s, you don't want them to be too tight, but you also don't want them to be real loosey-goosey because they're part of the pattern, and if they're hanging open, they're going to look kind of funny because they're going to lay, this is the part of the vest that lays right in the center of your back. So you want those to look really good. Okay, first stitch right there, double crochet twice. And it's a little easier doing it in the rest of these groups because you don't have the chain 3 to start with. So 2 double crochets, that's your increase. Then you go a single double crochet in the center stitch, or one, I shouldn't say single. Single is a little confusing. We have single stitches. Then you're going to do another increase right here. Double crochet increase, that's 2 stitches in the same stitch. 1 and 2. Okay, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stitches. When this gets further up, you're going to have a lot of stitches. It's going to go in increments of 2. You've got 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, etc. It's going to go all the way up to, I think, 45. So this is going to be a fun one to learn on, and we're just going to take our time with it, and I'm going to kind of let you guys do things through the week. And if you decide that you want us to meet more than once a week, we can do that. I can easily do twice a week if we need to do tutorials. But for the next 18 stitch or 18 rounds, we're going to be doing double crochet increase, single crochets across, and double crochet increase in the last stitch of the group. And then the pattern does change. Eventually you'll have more than just the 2 crochet stitches here. In fact, yeah, we got a while before that goes up to 3. So it's chain 2, and double crochet increase again. Thank you, Audrey. I pinned the videos on my page that show the actual vest that we made with this. And the vest I made, it's behind me, so you can't really see it, but I'll show it when we get done. I made it out of a finger weight yarn, so it's very delicate and it's really pretty, but it's a little bit too small because I'm a little bit bigger across the back and I wanted something that actually fit, but I'm going to find somebody to do it, I hope. So, hi, Rachel. I'm so glad you made it. And thank you. Okay, so there's our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So chain 2 and do another double crochet increase in the first stitch of the next group. 1 and 2. Just FYI, I have never done this before. I have never taught crochet. I'm self-taught. So if I say something weird and you're really good at crochet, feel free to correct me because I never stop learning. That's my philosophy, is you learn your entire life. Okay, so there is 5. Chain 2. And back into the first stitch, double crochet increase again. It's so relaxing. The pattern on your table looks like we go to 3 change in the next row in crochet 4. Chain 2, yes, that's right, it does. So 1, 2, 3, we're almost there. Good catch. I tried to mark my pattern for stuff like that when I got to it, but I'm gonna have to be really careful. Because I always inadvertently mess up on something just because we all do, right? Okay, there's that last double crochet. So we're going to do your increase. So there's 2 stitches in this one. 1 and 2. And I'm not a speed demon when it comes to this. It seems like the faster I go, the worse it looks. If I do it nice and slow, I get my tension right and it all balances out really pretty. And there is another increase. we did our chain 2, increase 2 here, 1 and 2 in the same stitch, then 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and a double crochet increase in the last stitch for that group. On my first pattern, somehow I got off. Either I missed a stitch or something, and I had to go way back and correct it. Oh, it was not fun. But it turned out really good. I enjoyed it very much. Okay, so chain, or not chain, we're going to do another double increase. Y'all probably get tired of hearing me say that. Double crochet in the center stitch, and then last stitch in this group, you have another increase, so 2 stitches right there. 1, 2, and then we're going to chain 2 and slip stitch into the 3rd chain of this chain. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's right. Right there. Yarn over, pull it through. There you go. We are already finished with 3 rounds. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. I was going to have a slight heart attack if that had nine rounds in it, or 9 groups in it, but stranger things have happened to me. Hey, Casey, how are you doing, sweetie? I haven't seen you in ages either. It just kind of feels like I've been out in La La Land lately. Okay, so we are on round 4. This time our chains between groups will be 3 chains instead of 2. And to start off, we are always going to do a double crochet increase in the first stitch and the last stitch. We're going to do 1, 2, 3. You got to chain 3 to start it off to get our height. And you're going to double crochet in the join. That is, let me look here. I can't always see it. We're going to go here. Okay, there we go. All right, and then you're going to do a single crochet in the next 3 stitches this time. Not a single crochet, 1 double crochet. Sorry. We do single crochet, it's going to look funny. Okay, so double crochet 1. Come on. 2. 3. And then we are at the last stitch in this group, and we double crochet it again. This is our increase. So 1, 2 double crochets in that last stitch, and 2. There we go. Okay, now we're going to do 3. 1, 2, 3, and that's going to help the pattern spread out and stay flat, because we don't want it to curl up. See how this one's kind of curling up a little bit? We can get that out with blocking, and it may curl up, we'll see, but I'll show you how to block when we get the project done. Circle vests are so easy to block, and that's basically when you get them soaking wet. There's several ways to block. You can get them soaking wet and then pin them down and let them dry. Okay, here's your double crochet increase again in that first stitch. Then you're going to do 3 double crochets, 1 in each stitch. 1. In some of my videos, I think I have a blanket that is pinned down to the little mats, and it was drying when I took the video. But there's some great tutorials on the tube of you that you can go and find. Hey, Miss Britt, how are you doing, girl? Whoops, that doesn't look right. Oops, and I lost it. Let's go back here. Fix this. There we go. I hope you're doing well, hon. I haven't seen you in ages either. I've just been busy taking care of my husband, and I'm honestly, for a long time, I thought I was just going to point my truck towards Fort Worth and it was just going to take me to the hospital all by itself, because I made so many trips down that street. And the second double crochet increase in that last group. Okay, and chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I miss you too, honey. It's been kind of rough around here. I haven't had a whole lot of time, and I was supposed to start this crochet along back the first part of August, but my husband had his stroke on the 26th of July at work. He called me and he said, well, actually he texted me and he said, I think he says, I think I'm having a slight stroke. And I'm like, how do you have a slight stroke? And I said, call an ambulance, please. And he said, no, just come and get me. I refused. I said, no way. So he got mad at me and he tried to get up. And when he tried to get up, his leg went out from under him. And his coworkers took over after that. It was very scary. They called a helicopter for him, and he was air flighted from his office to the hospital in Fort Worth. It was really scary. God kept me together because I have no other explanation for it. I mean, I just don't. When we got there, he wasn't in the room, in the emergency room where they said he was. And two doors down, there were a whole bunch of nurses gathered around a room. Yeah, it's been a month. That happened July 26th. So when they saw me and they asked who I was there for, and I told them, and their eyes got really big. You always know that there is something wrong when that happens. Well, they scooted me out of there past that room and stuck me in a family room. And I wasn't by myself. My friend Laura met me halfway there, and she drove me the rest of the way in. Okay, guys, here's our double crochet increase again, 3 stitches, and then you do one double crochet, 3 across. But what had happened is they were taking my husband down to neurointerventional radiology. And while they were doing that, his heart stopped and he coded. So they started doing CPR and they were able to get him back and he was talking to him. But when I saw him later that night, he looked up at me and he said, Wife, he said, I coded. And I said, I know you coded. I said, how did you know you coded? And he said, well, I saw the nurse jump up on the gurney and start giving me compressions. And I said, how in the world did you know that? I mean, if somebody's heart stops, how do they know that? I mean, I always thought when their heart stops, they're unconscious, right? No, he remembers everything. He said the compressions really hurt. He said he remembered the nurse jumping up on his chest and starting to do compressions. He remembered it all. And I got God bumps, y'all. I did. I got God bumps on that one. It was not his time. And that's why I say this is just an absolute miracle because everywhere I look at it, God had people in place. And it was really something to behold, I tell you. I don't think his work here is done because he would not be here because God had 2 opportunities to take him and he sent him back to me. So I'm very grateful for that. Yeah. And thank you for the prayers. I am so blessed to have the friends that I have and all of the prayers that have been going on. It made a big difference. Yes, amen. Love you too, Solly. I hope you're feeling better tonight. I know you're having a rough go of it, girl. We're praying for you too. And you're gonna get through this COVID thing. It's awful. I know you've had it more than I have. I've had it twice and it's never any fun. But okay, chain 3. And here again, the double crochet increase, whoops, in the first stitch, 1 and 2. But yeah, it was something else, I tell you. So he remembers everything about it, just everything. And he told me, he said, I finally got my helicopter ride, but all I could see was the ceiling. Oh, Sully, thank you, honey. I appreciate it. I was praying for a lot of people when I was going through this with Doug, and I still do because a friend of mine told me many, many years ago. She says, Robin, she said, when you pray for other people, it makes you take your focus off of the things that are upsetting you. It makes your problems kind of fade into the background because you're praying for God to help, to heal, to encourage, to bless. and you're having confidence that he will do that for another person. And in a sense, it reminds you that he will do it for you as well. And it really stuck with me. That was almost 25 years ago. Hey, Lori, how are you doing, sweetie? It's good to see you. I missed you guys this morning. I had to get my stitches out. I had nothing major. It was just I had a mole removed on my back, and they had to take the stitches out today. Thank goodness, because they were itching like crazy, especially with all of this heat down here in Texas and all the sweating we've been doing. Woo! I was like, get those things on out of here. Thank you, Britt. I'm self-taught. I don't know where it comes from, but I enjoy it a lot. It calms me down. It does. So I see it's Stacy's birthday today, Lori. I wished her a happy birthday a little while ago. You guys have anything special planned? Are y'all going out to dinner or anything? Thank you, Sully. I'll have to show you guys the vest here in a second, the one that I finished, if you haven't seen it already. But we'll get to a stopping point here in a few minutes. But basically, this is the pattern all the way up to row 18. It's just double crochet increases, single crochets in the middle, and then a double crochet increase in the last stitch of each group. And you do that all the way up to row 18. And the only thing that changes is eventually the chain stitches right here are going to go, I think they go all the way up to 5. Thank you, Lori. These colors, look at this color. Y'all look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? This is a 3.75 hook. That's the size hook that the pattern calls for. But I cannot wait to see how this actually lays out on the pattern. I'm so excited about that. So excited. But the pattern itself, I kind of modified it a little bit. Here, let me show you. This is the actual pattern that we're doing. And it's a free pattern. I've got it linked on my link tree if you guys want to download it. And it started with 2 different types of variegated yarn. I will. I'll send that to her. I'll send that to you, hun. Sorry, you brought her homemade carrot cake. Oh, yum. I love carrot cake. Love it. But they don't make the yarn that the pattern calls for anymore, but any yarn can do. I've made the one I made was it was a finger weight, so it was a little bit smaller than what the pattern called for, so it was a little tight. But it's really easy to make, as you can see. And the edges are easy too. They look like they're complex, but they're not. They're just chains and single crochets. They're really easy. Okay, go. We're almost done with this round. Whoops, all the way through there. So, Sully, have you been working on your temperature pattern? Your temperature blanket? I'm still working on mine, but with all of these, I didn't plan for all of these 115-degree days. And I have this huge block of red and burgundy, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is gonna look so much like Texas, all of the temperature changes. So there you go. Now we have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches. We're going to do 3 chains right here. And again, slip stitch to the 3rd chain. There's 1, 2, 3 to finish off that round. Come on. Sometimes it's a little tight. There we go. Okay. It's starting off looking pretty good. Okay. Something missing here. No, it's right. It's just I'm seeing this double crochet over here, and once it's blocked, it'll sit right. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So now we're going to do, let's see, what do I say? We're going to double crochet increase twice on each group, and we're going to go to 9. Well, that's good, Sully. I mean, yours was so unique, and I like that you had a theme to it. I mean, mine was just temperature blanket. I like that you called yours, what was it? You called it Mother Earth or something to that effect because it had so many earth tones. And I was really seeing that when you were working on it last. I think you only had the first month done, and it was you had yellows and blue and your brown for the earth, and I think there was green in there. It was really pretty. I think you should keep going on it because I think it'll come together and it'll really be an impressive piece. Because I know I'm there right now. I've got all of this red right in the middle of my blanket, and I'm going, is this going to turn out? But I'm going to trust the process. We'll see what happens. Okay, and then we're to a double crochet increase right here. One, are we? Wait, yes, we are. And two, and I'm going to double check this, count it, make sure I got it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're on round 5. All right, round 5 through round 8 are all the same. Double crochet increase. Like I said, all of them are basically the same, but 5 through 8 has the 3 chain space between the groups, and it's just double crochet increase, single, 1 double crochet in the rest, and then double crochet at the end. Whoops. That's the thing about using a little bit bigger yarn and a teeny tiny hook. Sometimes it wants to slip. Okay, do 1 and 2. There's the increase, the first increase. And then we're going to do, I think it's 5. Let me count here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, you're going to do 5 double crochets, 1 in each stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So they're all pretty much the same. And if you're doing this pattern with me, just do as many of the rows as you can. Whoops, that's one of my hairs. How did that get in there? I have long hair, y'all. Sometimes I find it everywhere. There we go. Okay. Aw, you have 1 full month of the same color than this month. See, that's how my July is. My July is all, 100-degree red. And I'm kind of stopped, and I'm thinking I'm going to go and get another color so I can split up the hundreds to hundreds and fives, and then the 105 to 115, so it's not quite so. That way it'll be even, because all of the rest of my colors had um, oops, I chained 3 there. Sorry, I forgot my last stitch. I'm not paying attention, y'all. I'm talking about other projects. Shame on me. If you guys have never heard of a temperature blanket, what Sully and I are talking about is we both are doing a temperature blanket in 2023. And it is a blanket that you pick a different color for about every 10 degrees from, say, -10 to 100. Well, I only did 100, and now it's 115 some days. So it kind of, I wasn't prepared for that. So I think mine has 12 colors in it all together, and you end up with a blanket that's planned, but it's not precisely planned. You let the weather decide what colors you're going to get. Hi, Caleb. It's good to see you. I'm so glad you came in. We're just hanging out and crocheting. How have you been? I know I haven't seen you in a while. I've been off. I haven't been around a whole lot, but my husband is supposed to get home. They told him today 2 weeks at the most, and he should be able to come home. So we're really grateful. And my dog is just so brokenhearted without him. It's been 15 on mine, but you have to work on it every day and get the weather every day. Yes, you do. When you fall behind, you have to sit there and work quite a bit of stitches to catch up. Because yeah, it takes a while. But I don't, whoops, I skipped a stitch. Okay, right there. There we go. So these are the single, or not the singles, they're the double crochets, 1 in each stitch in the middle here. But yeah, mine's Mine's the same. It's just I've got so much of that red in the middle. I tried to go for the right color, the right hue color. You know how you have there's so many different colors of red and pink and green. And I made sure that all of those matched, but the red is such a powerful color that I'm hoping it doesn't overtake it. Okay, this is the last stitch in that group, so it is another increase. So you do two double crochets in that, one and two. Okay, and then chain three, one, two, three, and you're going to do another increase right here. So double crochet twice, one, same stitch, two, there we go. And then you're going to do five double crochets, one in each stitch. Yeah, I know it can do that. It's been a learning experience for me, but it's given me some ideas for next year. I'm glad I went simple because there was one crochet blanket that I saw, a temperature blanket that they did the morning high, the nighttime low, and the weather. And I'm like, how? And they did them in granny squares. And I was like, oh my goodness. Aw, thank you, Lori. Thank you so much for coming by, sweetie. It was so good to see you. Get some rest, and I'll see you at study in the morning. I'll be back in the morning for sure. I just had to go get stitches out today. Have you, Caleb? Sometimes you have to. I mean, especially if the drama gets high, I step away from it when the drama gets really bad. But, I haven't been the target of it for a while. So, whoops. As long as I'm not the target of it, I can cope with it pretty much, unless it just gets really mean. Then I don't deal with it very well. I get kind of defensive because I like my friends a lot. Let me just put it that way. Hi, Sarah. It's good to see you. Love you too, Lori. I'll see you in the morning, hun. Thanks for stopping by. How are you doing, Sarah? We're just sitting here crocheting a vest. I hear my dog in there. I think she's chasing crickets, you guys. I have lived in this house for 4 years and I have not had like bugs. Even though we live in the country, I don't have bugs. Are you tired? I think a lot of people are tired. It's just been August is like that. Do you find it's that way? I mean, August I think is just a month where everybody's like, we're done with the heat. Can we start fall now? You know? And I totally understand being super tired. I've had a couple of nights where I've gotten home and I've just fallen asleep on the couch. Is it hot there, Caleb? What's your temperatures like out there in California? You worked overnight last night and then was up most of the day. Oh yeah, that's pretty rough. That is rough. My husband used to do that. He worked two jobs and I never got to see him. It was tough. I got to see Dutton and the other horses tonight. Oh, I'm so glad. Dutton is your special boy. He's a good guy. I really like Dutton. Dutton is her horse, y'all. We talk about our horses like they're our boyfriends because they're smart and they're so good to us. I had not known just how attentive and how special and calm a gelding could be until I got Dusty. And my first horse was a filly. Her name was Philly. And oh my goodness, she was a little terror, let me tell you. But I loved her, and her and I made a really good connection, and I loved it. But boy, Dusty takes care of me, you know. Oh, I'm so glad. So glad to hear that, Sully. I tell you, they keep me going too. There have been times that I've gotten up in the middle of the night and just gone out there and stood with my horses, and 'cause they always come in when they see me, and it's a calming, peaceful thing. And I've needed a lot of that. I get my alone time with God, and I've got my company with my horses, and it's a nice place to be. That's my happy place. I would say my happy place is my barn, but right now the crickets have taken over my barn, so I don't like going in there right now. I don't know what to do. They're everywhere. Cover small investments. So today was about being there for them. Oh, I see, Sarah. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope everything is okay. I know it's always tough when you have people that you know in the hospital. I know, and I know that they really appreciate you being there. I'm speaking from knowledge this last month or so. I've had some of the best people, nurses I didn't even know, just really be there for us. That first day was the roughest, but once we got through that, it was a lot better. So the other day, a hurricane hit California a couple of days ago. Oh, yeah, the humidity. Boy, when it gets humid, it can be something else, I tell you. I totally get it. So, hey, Crystal, it's good to see you. Yeah, it's so hard when people that we care about get put in the hospital for any reason, especially if they're new to being in a hospital. It can be a really scary thing for them. It's kind of I'm familiar with it, so it's not too much about being in the hospital. It's about, are they going to be okay? And you know, we had a really awesome minister over at Harris, and he just he took really good care of us while we were waiting for Doug. It really is, Sarah. I hear you. I do. My husband has really suffered this last week with that hematoma, and I mean, his life's not in danger though, but it's hard. My big concern when Doug had his stroke is I didn't know when to tell his parents. I was in tears when the nurse came out of the procedure room and she was telling me what they were doing, and she said it would be about an hour. And I asked her, I said, I don't know. His parents are still alive. They're in their 80s. They're 87 years old. They both have heart conditions. I said, should I call them now? Should I wait? I don't know what to do. And she told me, she said, wait an hour. She said, and then you'll know more. So love you too, Sully. And I sure will. I will see him tomorrow and I'll give him a big hug for you. So you get some rest. Thank you for coming in. I know you don't feel good. I'll be praying for you, hon. You're going to kick its butt, I promise. You just get some rest and I'll talk to you probably tomorrow. I'll be around. But it really is. We were in, or I was in the elevator one day in the parking garage, and a grandmother and a woman about my age came in, and there had been a really bad car accident, and it was her nephew was there, and he was in really bad shape. Oh my gosh, you were the EMT. Bless your heart. Oh, yeah, I cannot imagine. That would be tough. Sarah, we need angels like you. I'm telling you, we need EMTs and case and care and nurses that care like you do. But I understand that it's tough because you do care so much. It's like when you really care, it's hard. When you don't care, it's bad. So what do you do? But you do good, and I appreciate you because I deal with a lot of people and associate with a lot of people in the chronic pain patient community. So I see a lot of people with sickle cell disease and Ehlers-Danlos and things like that, and just people that have suffered a whole lot. So it can be really, really hard. Okay, let's see where we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is our fifth row. Wow, that took a while to get that fifth row. Okay, so number 5 is going to be repeated, except you're going to still do the increases. So 6, 7, and 8 are just continuing more of the same with the three strand. Sorry, let me get my words right. My 3-chain separator in between. It leaves a 3-chain space. So let me show you if I can get it up here. Let me put this up like this so you can see it. Oh, actually, I've got it on the mannequin. Hold on a second. Turn it around. This is what we are making. That is the vest. Let me turn it around. Here we go. And as you can see, this is the center where we are right now. We're about right there. And you just continue out until you get to the sleeves, which is the sleeveless one. And this, I think this is row 18 right there. So yeah, a lot of people are like guardian angels. Yes, they absolutely are. I agree with you. I do. I agree with you. It's a special calling to care for someone like that. I think it's hard. I don't know how they can't help but take it home. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be able to leave it there if it's a really tough case, and especially like Sarah said, if it's someone that I knew, I wouldn't be able to leave it at the hospital and just go home to my family like normal. Wouldn't be able to do it. It's hard. Okay, there's your increase. Now this is row 6, and let me make sure we don't miss that stitch. There is the second stitch right there. It's here 1, 2, stitch number 3 technically. Okay, stitch number 3. One of the places where mistakes happen in this pattern is you get your double crochet increase in here and you miss this stitch, because when you put 2 of them together, they kind of get crunched like that. So always remember, kind of pull it apart like that if you have to, and go into that stitch with your third double crochet so you don't miss it, because that'll mess up your count, and then you'll have one, they kind of are like a piece of pie. One piece of pie is going to be smaller than the rest and it won't quite balance out. I hear you, Sarah. I do. Okay, so we should have 7 stitches with double crochet, 1 double crochet. So there's the first one. There's 2 and 3. Oops, I missed it. There we go. 3 and 4 is right there. Oh, I'm looking through the camera again. It's easier to look over the camera. 5, 6, 7, and yeah, that's right. I was like, oh, did I count wrong? Nope, I didn't. There's your last stitch. So that is a double crochet increase. So I hope that this helps you guys get the gist of it. And if you just follow your pattern, follow your pattern, and just like I've shown you here, you should be in really good shape to start the sleeve portion. Or it's not a sleeve, it's the armhole. And it's a lot easier than what it sounds. So there you go. Hey, Sylvia, it's good to see you too, honey. I'm so glad you're here. I missed you this morning. I had to go to the doctor early, so I missed Bible study. I hate missing Bible study. I've missed it a lot lately with Doug in the hospital. I missed a whole bunch. Okay, there's my double crochet increase again, right? And then double crochet 7 times. 1 and 2. Oh, I bet it was. The studies are always so good, but I know that there's those special ones that we get to that are just, they just make us just want to burst with love. I hate missing those. I really do. But I will be back in the morning for sure. I'm just glad they got my stitches out today because they were itching so badly. My husband's not home, so I can't have anybody scratch it for me. So I've been like scratching my back up against doorposts and stuff. I look like a cat. It's the silly things I do. Okay, here we go. Oh, what? No, no, it's there. That's a little bit loose. That's why it looks like that. It's not a real tight stitch in there. Okay, and then there is our last double crochet. So we do an increase, 1 and 2. Okay, there we go. And that's 2. I thought we had more than like that, but no. So this is basically what you're going to do all the way to row 18. So since we've been on for an hour, I'm going to let everybody go. But if you are working this pattern with me, I'm also going to upload it to YouTube. So if you didn't start tonight, you will have another opportunity to start this with me. I'm going to say try this week to get through to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Try to get through to row 10. And if you don't worry about it because I'll go to row 10 and I'll stop. Or actually, I may go a little further. We'll see. But try to get to row 10. And if you can get further, that would be great. And the next time we really have a big change in the pattern and what we do with the pattern is when we get to that 19th row. So, okay, what rows do you increase chains at? Okay, on the pattern, let me turn this over here. We'll go over here. Now I have this pattern. Here's the front page. This is what it looks like right there. That's the front page. I have this pattern. It's linked to my link tree. It's the Flair Vest Flair Circle Vest. Flair Circle Vest. It's a free pattern. So you can go to my profile, go to my link tree, and you can go and download this pattern. All right. And that way you'll have the pattern for yourself. But we have a chain 3 space from this point. Let's see, we go from 2 to 3 in round 4. So round 4 is your first 3 chain space. Then the next change is, what is that? I gotta put my glasses on, y'all, because I'm blind. All right, chain 4 in round 9. So we'll do 5 through 8 with chain 3, and then round 9 changes to chain 4. And then 10 through 18 continues to be chain 4. And then 19 changes altogether. So we'll do 19 together for sure, because that one is where you literally skip, let's see here, second direction, last group of, no, that's chain 4 for armhole chain 47. Okay, so you're going to do just a couple of double crochets, then you're going to do a chain 47, which will give you your armhole loop. So we'll do that one together because you're going to have a big open space there, and it's not as hard as it sounds. And then after you do the armhole in that next round, no, it's in this round, the chain 5 begins. So the chain 5 begins in round 19, but you only do 6 of them because 2 of those are going to have a chain 47. I'll show you how it's done. I promise it's a piece of cake. It really is. Okay, Sylvia, thank you, honey. I appreciate you coming in, and I'll see you in the morning too. Okay, let me turn my phone around. I know there's a way to do it. Hold on just a second. There we go. We'll flip my camera. There we go. You can see up my nose if I'm not careful. So I will do this again. I'll give you guys a week to kind of work on it and get comfortable. And if anybody wants to catch up, that's great too. You can start at any time you want to, because these lives are going to go on YouTube. They'll upload, it'll probably be tomorrow sometime before they're uploaded, but that way they'll always be there and you can do them whenever you want to. So I'm thinking there will probably be, I'm trying to remember how many hours it took me to do this. I want to say it took me 6, but we're not going to do all of it live. We're just going to do the difficult parts, like, work as you can on this portion, because this is the easy portion to work on. And then we'll go from there. So y'all have a great night. Thank you all so much for coming in, and I hope you enjoyed it. It was fun for me, and I will see you next Thursday at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time again, and I'll make sure I put up a post to remind everybody, okay? Rachel, it was nice to meet you. I'm so glad you came in, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I'll see you all tomorrow. Join us in Bible study if you can. It's Manette is Blessed. It starts at 6:30 Central Standard Time because she is in Florida. So y'all have a good one. Love y'all. Good night.